I'm Marianne Frisley from Labour Chile, and we're still dealing with Anne, with her problem. And you had a problem which you also made mention to me with regards to the fact that that you were told that you would get like a monthly amount for petrol,
yes,
and that they will basically fill 2 tanks of petrol for you per month.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you made mention of the fact that it's haphazardly. It's not that you go and you get the card and you can go and put some petrol in. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What happens when you ask them for the card?
Well, sometimes they give it to me to say that I can put in the amount of petrol that I'm supposed to put in, but then sometimes they say that they can't do it now because there's no money, or they can only do it next week. Yeah, it's just...
So how do you get to work then?
Well, then I have to basically make a plan to get money to put in petrol.
Okay. All right. So when you started there, was that one of the benefits that they promised you?
Yes. It wasn't immediately. It was only after about 3 months that I started working for them in the office, and they said that I can then get the 2 tanks of petrol. Okay,
so let's say there was like sort of a probation period, and after probation period, they then said to you, okay, this is now another benefit that they're offering, and that's it. Yeah. So it's not always done, but it gets done, but the intervals are sometimes big, and it's not always that you do get the money.
Yes.
I suppose now at the moment it's not regular that you're going to get that.
No, it's not happening at the moment.
Okay, all right. Well, one can understand that it's difficult for them at the moment. Did they discuss it with you that you're not going to receive it?
No.
Okay, all right. So the problem is that if it's not in a contract of employment where it's stated that yes, you will receive this money, it's once again it's a verbal agreement. Now we all know that a verbal agreement can be valid, it's fine. However, for the protection of both the employer and the employee, it's always good to have a contract of employment, especially when it comes to these special arrangements and benefits that could befall you, but they can always turn around and say, oh, well, they never said that. So, do you have a contract of employment?
No, I don't.
All right. What's your title? Working for them?
I've got no idea. I'm basically the jack of all trades, so I don't have an official one.
Okay. All right. So this is exactly what I'm saying, is that to the employees, you don't know your title, you don't know what you're going to fill on in any form, you don't know what you are. So it's very difficult for you to basically also understand what do you do. You obviously don't have a job description, I suppose. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So employers. You're working for a small employer's company. It's a small company. All right. Okay. Doesn't matter. Because even if it's a small company, I always stress the fact to both the employer as well as the employee that you need a contract, because you have to stipulate what this person is doing. If the employer doesn't stipulate what you are supposed to do, how are they ever going to discipline you? Let's say, for instance, if anything would go wrong, or if something has happened, how are they going to address you? It's very, very difficult for an employer without the contract to also fall back and say, but we told you so. We did say this, we did say that. So it's actually a problem that now will prevail for the period, unless you go to them and you say to them, can I please have my contract now? Because I want to claim for the UIF. On my UIF form, I know there's a space where you have to write, what are you? Yeah. What's your position? So you don't know. No. You don't know what your benefits are. You don't know what's the action that you can take also from your side. If the employer fails to basically comply to whatever they told you. All right. You also made mention of the fact that you were supposed to get your bonus in March because according to the company, you get your bonus in your month of your birthday month. They didn't pay you that?
No.
Okay. All right. Nowhere again. You cannot go and you can say, okay, it's written here that I should get my bonus. It's nowhere written.
No.
So you are sitting with a problem once again, that they can say, well, you know, if it's tough times, then you can't expect that. We haven't promised you that. It was just an arrangement that we made out of the goodness of our hearts. However, for the past number of years, they did pay you every month or every March. You did get your birthday bonus. So if you work according to that, it means that if something happened right through in the past up till now, it's a condition already. And it's an expected condition of employment from your side because they've done it all the years. But they didn't stipulate it. So, of course, you have an expectancy now that you are going to get it. We do know, however, with the COVID situation, that companies do have a problem with money. However, let's forget about the COVID. Let's forget about everything that could maybe be an excuse. In normal circumstances, if they didn't pay you this, you would have had a problem because you don't have a contract of employment. And it's very easy for them to say, oh, no, that wasn't a condition. We know nothing about that. So then you have to go to the Department of Labor and you have to lay a complaint where you say, listen, I expect this due to the fact that I've always got it. Now they say it's no longer available to me. Catch-22. All right. Employer is going to get away with it because you, the poor employee, doesn't have anything to fall back on except for the fact that it did happen in the past. If you would go to the CCMA and you would have said, well, you know, it's an unfair labor practice, they will say, oh, well, we just didn't have the money this year. So what I can advise is try and get a contract of employment as fast as possible out of them, because it's going to be necessary for you, for your UIF claim, for any claims that you would like to make in future, or you never know what's going to happen. They can come and they can say to you, you're retrenched out of the blue. You don't have a contract, a signed contract. How are you going to say, okay, what are my benefits now under the retrenchment? Those type of things. So, employer, I can advise that, yes, give your employees a contract of employment. Employee, I can advise you, get your contract of employment. See if you are happy with the conditions, because you don't know what they can now put into that contract after all these years that you're working for them, and you don't know what they can come back with now. So make sure that you try and get that contract as soon as possible, because otherwise, if I can give you the best advice I can give you is that you fall under the Basic Conditions of Employment Act now. After 3 months, you are made a permanent employee automatically. If they haven't told you anything or whatever, you are a permanent employee because you've worked all these years. And then any other thing that's going to happen to you in future will have to be dealt under the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, should they not give you a contract of employment. Thank you.